Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. As always, your host with the most, Ghost. And today we have the WWE 2012 pay-per-view collection. Only 12 pay-per-views from this year, which makes it a fairly small year. This was definitely towards, the end of the brand split, which in my opinion was over probably around 2010-11. But they cut out a lot of pay-per-views by 2012. So here we go. Let's get into this with the 2012 Royal Rumble. So this is the only Blu-ray I have for 2012 is the Royal Rumble. And this would be the 25th anniversary. I actually got a love-hate relationship with this cover. I love the WrestleMania logo in the background. But having Sheamus front and center I don't think is the right move. And then we got Sheamus on the spine. We got Sheamus's victory on the back. This is a pretty good DVD, pretty good event from what I remember. We got a giant close-up of everybody in the back. Well, for the most part, all these guys are still with WWE. Except for Jericho. But yeah, you got Kofi, Daniel Bryan, The Miz, Orton, even CM Punk returned. Zack Ryder, Kane, R-Truth, John Cena's been MIA for a year, but not a bad Rumble. So this one had CM Punk versus Dolph Ziggler for the WWE title. And then Daniel Bryan, Mark Henry, and Big Show in a steel cage for the World's Heavyweight Championship. And then the 30-man Royal Rumble, which at the time I thought Jericho should have won. I think he probably still should have won that match. We got John Cena versus Kane. And they would have a decent feud. This was Kane's big return to WWE around this time as well. Chamber from 2012. Love that green logo. You got CM Punk, who is in the midst of his 434-day title run. Very cool. And then Daniel Bryan. Disc art, pretty decent. It's always cool seeing Daniel Bryan with the World Heavyweight title, especially the big gold belt. But here we had an ambulance match, John Cena versus Kane, and a Divas title match, Beth Phoenix versus Tamina. Both champs would retain here with Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. So I thought that was pretty cool. WrestleMania 28, once in a lifetime. I'm not the biggest fan of this WrestleMania, to be honest. It's a good WrestleMania, but I think it's a bit overrated, in my opinion. I know a few people feel the same way. I know people that absolutely love this show. I'm not really in that boat. I think it's a good show, but for me, I just expected something different. I was happy to see The Rock return and defeat John Cena. A lot of people love that Hell in a Cell. I'm in the boat. Same boat, but again, I don't think it's as good as everyone says. There we see Cena and Rock. Look at the face of Mike Chioda there. So this one would feature Jericho versus CM Punk for the WWE title. Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus, which lasted all of 18 seconds. And people just absolutely lost their minds. Yeah, Team Teddy, Team Johnny. We seen Cody Rhodes versus The Big Show. Orton versus Kane, which was always a weird matchup to me. And then there was that Brodus Clay. Just not good. The Hall of Fame this year was actually really good. Let's see, you had Ron Simmons, Mil Mascaras. This was the Four Horsemen and Edge here. We also had Yokozuna and Mike Tyson. So, pretty cool. This was, of course, Edge's big moment. One of my favorite Hall of Fame speeches. After WrestleMania, we seen the return of Lesnar, who would have his first match in, 7 years at Extreme Rules versus John Cena. This is a hell of a pay-per-view. And during some of these DVDs, we do see initial commercials for WWE Network. I think they launched those prematurely, and we wouldn't see the network till 2014, so almost 2 years later. We'd see Nikki Bella versus Layla, CM Punk versus Jericho in the Chicago Street Fight, 2 out of 3 falls for the world title, tables for the IC title, which Big Show broke a table, big whoop. Falls count anywhere, Orton versus Kane. This was a good pay-per-view. Definitely check out Extreme Rules 2012. Over the Limit 2012. I think this is one of the worst pay-per-view names, if we're being honest here, apart from like Fatal 4-Way, Great Balls of Fire, things like that. Over the Limit, it definitely sounds PG. What was wrong with Backlash and Judgment Day? Good old pay-per-view. In case you didn't know, that's Randy Orton. I do like the logo, but I just think the name, Over the Limit, doesn't have a good ring to it. And this was during People Power. John Laurinaitis. I am the executive president of talent. So this one would feature CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. They had a great series of matches throughout 2012. Jericho versus Del Rio. We had Cena versus Laurinaitis, which was just absolute dog crap. And then it looks like Fatal 4-Way for the World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, okay, so it was Sheamus, Jericho, Del Rio, and Orton. It wasn't Jericho and Del Rio. And we've seen a tag team title match. Kofi Kingston and R-Truth versus Swagger and Ziggler. This was that time period right before the New Day got together. And Kofi Kingston was in so many tag teams. I'm happy to see something finally fit with him and New Day. No Way Out 2012. I was happy to see this pay-per-view return just briefly here. Love that logo, though. That diamond plate logo. Brings back good memories from the earlier years of No Way Out. So yeah, this was the end of John Laurinaitis on-screen character. Got chains on the DVD. Disc itself, really cool. Various artwork. So we got a tuxedo match. Santino versus Ricardo Rodriguez. Christian versus Cody Rhodes for the IC title. Sheamus versus Ziggler. CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and Kane in a triple threat. And then Cena versus Big Show in the steel cage. But if Big Show loses, then John Laurinaitis would be fired. Money in the Bank 2012. Here we have Cena on the cover. Very cheesy. Never liked that cover. But awesome disc art. And again, we had Punk and Bryan for the WWE title with guest referee AJ Lee. I think this was during the big push of Ryback. Then we had our 2 WWE Money in the Bank ladder matches. One was for a world title contract. One was for the WWE Championship. And we would see Cena cash in like the week later, or a couple weeks later, on Raw 1000. So very cool. You also had Sheamus versus Del Rio for the World Heavyweight title. Yeah, Cena would cash in on Raw 1000 and be the first person to lose his contract or his match. He won by DQ, but he didn't win the title. 2012 SummerSlam, this was dubbed the Perfect Storm. And we got CM Punk in another triple threat. This time versus Cena and Big Show. You got Lesnar versus Triple H. Love this spine, though. It's like the movie theater, the lights going up and down. Got a vertical spine this year. I thought that match was actually really good here in SummerSlam with Triple H and Lesnar. Their WrestleMania 29 match was no good. But CM Punk wearing the pink tights here. Got Sheamus and Del Rio once again. This was a rough period for Sheamus. Because after he beat Daniel Bryan for the title, they pushed him as the babyface. He could never really get over at this time. Night of Champions 2012, another spoiler cover. But we got CM Punk and Paul Heyman. So Punk turns heel at Raw 1000. And this is now the build towards Rock and CM Punk at the Royal Rumble. Got that dreaded pink rope. CM Punk wearing the pinstripes, I believe. So we got Orton versus Ziggler, Cesaro versus Zack Ryder, Layla versus Eve. We got the rise of Team Hell No. Yeah, Daniel Bryan and Kane versus Kofi Kingston and R-Truth. This is some of the worst WWE tag teams in history during this era. Really cool discard. I love when they do alternate discard. You know, a lot of times we'll just see discard, same as the cover. Hell in a Cell 2012. You know, this would be Ryback's big departure from the main event. You know, he was unstoppable at this point, and they needed to put the brakes on him. You know, they wanted Punk to be the champion, but they didn't want to hurt Ryback. Fortunately, I believe that's what happened. But I think, you know, if you look back on it, Punk probably should have put Ryback over. They could have put the title back on Punk a month later or the next night, whatever. But Sheamus versus Big Show was actually a really good match. Orton versus Del Rio. We had Team Hell No versus the Rhodes Scholars. The Miz versus Kofi. Mysterio and Sin Cara versus the Primetime Players. This was a decent show. I think a lot of people remember it for the ending with, you know, Ryback getting screwed over and screwed out of the title. Survivor Series 2012. Pretty cool. This was not the best Survivor Series. We had rumors of Mick Foley returning around this time, but I don't think he could get cleared. So Foley would be the captain with Team Hell No, Orton, Kofi Kingston, and The Miz versus Team Ziggler. You got Ziggler, Sandow, Otunga, Del Rio, and Barrett. You also had Big Show versus Sheamus. Once again, these guys had some good matches here. I really enjoyed those matches. I'm a lifetime fan of the Big Show Paul White, so when the man puts in work, I'm going to acknowledge that stuff and put the man over here. Big Show is one of my favorites. And here we had the Cena Punk Ryback triple threat for the WWE title. This would mark CM Punk's 365-day reign as WWE champion. Also, the debut of the Shield happened on this night. So really cool stuff. We didn't know who they were at the time. I sure didn't. And then TLC 2012. Not the best cover here, but really cool show. This would be the Shield's big debut in a TLC match versus Ryback and Team Hell No. Awesome match. Definitely go watch that one, guys. And we got Sheamus and Big Show in a chairs match. I think Cena and Ziggler in a ladder match for the Money in the Bank briefcase. So Cena was now challenging for Ziggler's Money in the Bank after he lost his. So good for you, Cena. And AJ Lee would cost him. So there we have the 2012 WWE pay-per-view collection. Comment down below some of your favorite moments from this year. Mine would definitely be, Lesnar's return, and then the stuff with Lesnar, Triple H. Also, CM Punk's title reign. That was definitely a highlight of this year. So comment down below if you have any suggestions. Comment down below. Got to get 2008 in the books as well. So we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.